My paper is focused on the theme of ARA in terms of accepting educational responsibility. And my responsibility is very much related to helping to form and generate and sustain cultures of inquiry. Now, what I mean by accepting educational responsibility is that I do focus on generating and supporting others to generate their own living educational theories in which they're accepting their educational responsibility for generating and sharing their explanations of their educational influences in their own learning and the learning of others and the learning of social formations. And my educational responsibility over the last 50 years has developed, it's evolved from a focus on my own educational influence in my own learning, then into the learning of others, and now focusing on the idea that Jackie DeLong first put forward in her doctorate in terms of the ideas of cultures of inquiry. And what I'm doing is to take up where Jackie left off her presentation in terms of the idea of energy. That it feels to me that one of the omissions in much educational research at the moment is in accommodating the fact that we all know that this idea of life-affirming energy is brought into everything that we do. And when Parvati talks about the Sattvic framework, about goodness, this is something that, again, I've been learning a lot about, but I connect it with that idea of life-affirming and enhancing energy. And where everybody at the moment has mentioned the being loved into learning and the idea of the cultures of inquiry, but also vulnerability, it feels to me that when I look at what I do, then I've got to really concentrate on bringing into the academy these standards of judgment that are used in relation to explanatory principles, like Prabhati with the Sattvic framework. You know, when actually I look at the relationship that has taken place with Michelle and Jackie over several years. And I followed that through from when Michelle came to a workshop that Jackie and myself actually introduced. And then Jackie supported Michelle in developing her living educational theory at the university in Florida. That is what I've actually been supporting. But this idea of a culture of inquiry with the questions that AERA organizers have asked about how can we unite with practitioners, with scholars across other academic disciplines and fields, and with other citizens beyond academy to strategically address complex social and educational problems. It seems to me that this is what we have been doing together. And what I intend to show with my presentation, and that is actually accessible on the web, is to demonstrate how over several months we have worked together in communicating, for example, Bhabati's notion of the Sattvic framework with goodness coming from a totally different culture than the others. I mean, the closest one is Shivani in relation to India, but certainly with Jackie, Michelle, and myself, these are coming with the culture of inquiry, integrating other insights about the nature of goodness and what we're bringing into our educational practices as we support a global culture of inquiry, but still focusing on what is needed in an educational research community, which is to make sure that we are contributing to the educational knowledge base, which I think we are showing now quite new explanatory frameworks and standards of judgment as we have been working together and explaining how we've been influencing other over months now from different cultures with our values and how we contribute to this global culture